This presidential campaign has been unpredictable from the start, and it looks like it's going to finish that way as well. 538.com, a data-driven journalism site, predicted that the Chicago Cubs had a smaller chance of winning the World Series than Donald Trump has of winning on Election Day. The Cubs won. 538 also had Hillary Clinton's chance of winning at 75%. That number has since dropped, and this all must be very troubling to Democrats. Stephanie Rawlings Blake is the mayor of Baltimore and the second in command at the Democratic National Committee. It's nice to see you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for talking with me.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Let's start with polling. And polls are showing the race is tightening. If you look at the Quinnipiac poll, for example, you see that Hillary Clinton still leads, but it's about 3% now. What are you most concerned about at this stage in the race?
We're very concerned about turnout. That's why Secretary Clinton is spending time in Nevada and in Arizona. I think the Secretary paints a very clear picture about why it's serious for people to come out and vote.
The Clinton coalition relies, sort of the map to victory, if you will, relies heavily on African-American turnout. And if you look at a state like Florida, we've actually seen African-American turnout has dropped. I think it's 25% down now to about 15% in early voting. That has to be concerning you.
As days get closer, people see how serious this really is. I think for so many people, reasonable people, they thought that the possibility of a Trump presidency was, was out of reach. And when they see it so close, the polls tightening, I think people really understand how important it is to get to the polls.
Talk to me a little bit about the state of the DNC right now. You've been mired in some challenges of late. Donna Brazile, we know, getting and then passing along some questions to Hillary Clinton, emails that were leaked, we know, seem to confirm what Bernie Sanders had been complaining about over time, that there was a bias from the DNC toward Hillary Clinton and away from him. Are you concerned, as much as we focus on chaos within the RNC, are you concerned that there are people who believe that there might be a loss of confidence for Democrats and the DNC?
I think a lot of that healing that needed to happen in the party happened during the Democratic convention. Donna Brazile was very clear when those emails came out and showed concern to all of us about the way many staff people handled Senator Sanders. She was unequivocal. She apologized. She said she understood that this was not, these weren't the priorities and the standards by which we believe the Democratic Party should be operating under. And we made changes in order to fix it. I think the concerns were real and we treated them as such.
So what's giving you most hope right now? What data are you getting that the DNC feels most happy about?
Well, the data is the map. Still today, with the polls tightening in some of the battleground states, Donald Trump still has a difficult challenge. He has less pathways to 270 than Secretary Clinton, so that gives me hope.
Let me ask you a question about the conflictual relationship between politicians and reporters. You kind of got into it with a reporter who covers you, and you've kicked him out of your press briefings. And I was curious as to why. That's a pretty unusual move.
It's unusual and it's unfortunate that it was done, but I don't have a problem with any of the questions that the reporter asked me. And any reporter in Baltimore knows that I've taken the questions that I wanted and the questions that I haven't for years. But what I won't tolerate is abusive behavior to my staff. When a reporter told me that a staff person of mine was abusive toward them, I handled it immediately, no questions asked. And when a staff person of mine said that that same situation happened with this reporter, I handled it immediately, no questions asked. That's what should be done. And this is, while some people are trying to paint this as a First Amendment issue, he's free to come to any of the open press conferences. But the press conference that we have, it's a small press conference that I do in one of my conference rooms, an opportunity that I created so reporters could have more access to me to ask me anything that they wanted on a weekly basis. Those are too close quarters for someone who has demonstrated abusive behavior.
Madam Mayor, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.